Looking down now on the field, we see Roger Craig taking his warm-up pitches right alongside the third base line. And he'll be opposed today by Bob Bealey, a big left-hander with a good fastball. Bealey warming up right in front of the Pittsburgh dugout on a beautiful day here in Pittsburgh. Say, right now would be a fine time for you to check your supply of fine coal Rheingold. Rheingold Extra Dry. Yes, sir, put some Rheingold on ice because it can add a lot to your enjoyment of the game. Rheingold is brewed from the choicest ingredients. Brewed the long, slow, costlier way for flavor that's brisk and bright and clean clear through. Rheingold is beer should taste. Dry tells you why. And say, also right now would be a good time to light up a Viceroy. Viceroy's not too strong, not too light. Viceroy's got the taste that's right. That's right. Well, the umpires are going over the grounds rules with Casey Stengel, the manager of the New York Mets. They're looking for their first win. And Danny Murtaugh, who has sent up his coach, Dick Broad, his actual captain on the field, up there going over the grounds rules together. If the Pittsburgh Pirates win today, they can tie an all-time record in the National League for most victories at the start of the season. They are looking for number 10, and that would tie the record set by the Dodgers back in 1955. You know, there are many ways to brew beer. Rheingold takes the long, slow, costlier way, the extra dry way. And that explains why there's such a wonderful difference in the taste of Rheingold. Yes, dry tells you why. Tells you why Rheingold is beer should taste. Brisk and bright and clean, clear through. Costly ingredients are one thing, and Rheingold has them, but it takes more. Yes, it takes the skill of 125 years of brewing experience. The extra dry skill that is Rheingold's alone. And you can measure the difference that dry makes in taste. Rheingold has the happiest taste in beer today. No other beer can quite match it. So it's no wonder that millions say, my beer is Rheingold the dry beer. But wouldn't you rather discover that difference for yourself? Why don't you enjoy the extra refreshment that comes with Rheingold extra dry beer? Open up or order up fine cold Rheingold right now. Why don't you enjoy a glass right along with the game as we give you the starting lineups for today's game. For the New York Mets, they will start with an all right-handed hitting lineup. Don Zimmer will lead off, and he'll be playing at third base. Batting second, playing shortstop, Elio Chacon. Batting in the third position in right field, B.G. Smith, Bobby Gene Smith. Batting in the cleanup spot, their power man, Frank Thomas. He has 4 home runs in the season. He'll be playing in left field. Batting fifth at second base, Charlie Neal. Batting in the sixth slot, Gil Hodges at first base. There go the Pirates out in the field. Batting in the seventh position in center field, Jim Hickman. Batting eighth and doing the catching, Chris Cannizzaro. And batting ninth, the starting pitcher for the Mets, Roger Craig. Roger has a record of no wins and 2 losses so far this year. He has started 2 games, pitched 6 innings, allowed 14 hits. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem. Lineups for the Pittsburgh Pirates, who currently lead the National League. Leading off and playing in center field, Bill Burden. Batting in the second position, their team captain, Dick Grote. He'll be playing shortstop. Batting third, playing left field, Bob Skinner. The cleanup man, Dick Stewart. He'll be at first base. Batting fifth in right field, last year's league-leading hitter in the National League, Roberto Clemente. Batting in the sixth position and catching, Forrest Mogi Burgess. Batting seventh and playing third base, Don Hope. Batting eighth at second base, Bill Mazeroski. Batting in the ninth position, Bob Bealey. Bealey will be making his second major league start. He started back on April the 16th against the Chicago Cubs. In that game, he worked a total of 2 1/3 innings, giving up 6 base hits, allowing 4 runs, all earned. He walked 3 and he struck out 3. Bealey has a good fastball. He's a big, tall fella, and he's taking his warm-up pitches on the mound right now here in Forbes Field. It's a beautiful day in Pittsburgh. The temperature is 79 degrees. A wind blowing from the southwest, which means it's blowing out towards left field at about 25 miles an hour. A day good for hitters, although this is a big ballpark. Down the left field line, the distance 365 feet. In left center, 406 feet. In direct center field, 436 feet. In right center field, 375 feet. In right field, 300 feet. Now we're all set to go as Don Zimmer steps in as the leadoff man for the New York Mets. A left-hander on the mound, Bob Bealey. Here's the first pitch of the game, a fastball just too low, ball 1. The umpire behind home plate, Chris Pellicudis. At first base, Frank Walsh. At second base, Jocko Conlon. And at third base, Ken Burkhardt. 1 ball count. The batter, Don Zimmer. He'll be followed by Dick Grote and Bob Skinner. Now the left-hander to the plate with his second pitch. He's high. Ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Coaching at first base, Cookie Lavagetto for the New York Mets. At third base, Solly Hemus. The New York Mets out to win their first game of the 1962 season, the first game in their Major League history. And the Pittsburgh Pirates out to win their 10th consecutive game, which will tie a Major League record. 2-ball pitch outside. 3 balls and no strikes. So now Bealey with 3 consecutive balls. Bealey winding to Don Zimmer. Call strike 1. A fastball through in the inside corner at the letters. 3 balls and 1 strike. Don, after a great spring, off to a slow start. He has 3 hits and 33 times at bat. Set for the 3-1 pitch. It's outside, ball 4. So Bealey, in pitching to his first man here today, walks him. That gives the Mets the first base runner of the game, and it will bring up Helio Chacon, who is playing at shortstop.
Batting in the second position and playing shortstop, number 7, Helio Chacon.
In Bealey's only other Major League start, he walked 3 batters and struck out 3 while pitching 2 1/3 innings. He was not a pitcher record in that game as the Pirates came from behind to win it 6-5. Left-hander checking Zimmer at first. Comes to the plate high. Chacon takes ball 1. Chacon batting 1 for 4 on the year, 250. He's been hampered by an injury, a pulled muscle between the ribs. Young ball player obtained by the Mets from the Cincinnati Reds. Chacon is best remembered for his brazen steal a home on a pass ball that got by Elston Howard in the World Series last year. And it actually set up the only win for the Cincinnati Reds in the series against the Yankees. Beal goes to first base with a lob throw. Zimmer back easily. Helio 25. He takes the called strike in the inside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. No one out at the top of the first inning. The New York Mets batting. Helio's father, Palejo Chacon, was one of the outstanding players in Cuba for many, many years. Bealey looking at Zimmer, now to the plate on the 1 pitch. A swing and a miss, strike two. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Last year, Chacon at Cincinnati hit .265. He was in 61 games, at bat 132 times. He's 5'9", playing at shortstop, and now the 1-2 pitch by Bealey. Instead, the first base, and it's another lob throw over there. Zimmer back easily. Time call by Halakutis, allowing Chacon to get back in the batter's box. He stands right on top of the plate. 1-2 pitch, hit into right field, a little fly ball. Clemente stands there and then moves in 2 steps and catches it down by his waist. So Bealey picks up his first out of the ball game, and that will bring up B.G. Smith. Smith playing in right field. Zimmer still at first base. Defensively for the Pittsburgh Pirates, it's Mogi Burgess behind the plate. At first base, Dick Stewart. At second base, Bill Mazeroski. Dick Grote at shortstop. At third base, Don Hope. In the outfield, Skinner, Burden, and Clemente. Another throw to first base. Again, Zimmer back easily. Bealey just lobs it over there. Ground ball down to Mazeroski. A chance at 2. He's over to Grote. Back to first base. In time. A double play, and that retires the side. In the inning for the Pittsburgh, make that the New York Mets. No runs, no hits, no errors, and the score. At the end of 1/2 inning of play, New York nothing, Pittsburgh coming to bat. And also coming up now, a melody with an old world flavor.
Vic Damone saying, down on Mulberry Street, far and near, the one they like is Rheingold beer. Rheingold è la birra da bere, che delizia poterla godere. Dolce amara non è, ma perfetta lo è, comperate la Rheingold teste. Italian and English have the same word for refreshment, Rheingold. Remember that name when you want beer that's brisk and bright and clean clear through. Dry tells you why. Rheingold is brewed the long, slow, costlier way. It's New York's favorite. It's beer as beer should taste. My beer is Rheingold, the dry beer. Think of Rheingold whenever you buy beer. It's not bitter, not sweet. It's the dry flavor treat. Won't you try extra dry Rheingold beer? Shout.
Leading off for the Pirates.
Moving to the bottom half of the first inning with the New York Mets out in the field defensively after going down 1-2-3 in the top of the first. The first batter up for the Pittsburgh Pirates, Bill Burden. And on the mound, now talking to Charlie Neal, the second baseman, and the catcher, Chris Cannizzaro, Roger Craig. This will be Roger's third start. He had 2 others, one against the Cards. That was the opening day of the season. In that game, he worked 3 innings, giving up 8 hits, and went out of the game at the top of the 4th. That was his first loss. The second game was against the Pirates on the 15th of April, and in that game, he worked 3 innings, giving up 6 hits, and was credited with the loss. First pitch by Roger, a breaking ball, called strike 1. Burden, the left-handed batter, and Zimmer playing shallow at third base against the possible bunt. Craig is high with his next pitch, 1 ball and 1 strike. Burden batting .297. He has 11 hits and 37 times at bat. Craig back on the 1-1 pitch. A fly ball hit the left field. Thomas starts in, then stops, holds there, and makes the catch. So Craig gets his first man, and that'll bring up Dick Grote. Defensively for the New York Mets, Chris Cannizzaro, the catcher. At first base, Gil Hodges. At second base, Charlie Neal. At shortstop, Elio Chacon. At third base, Don Zimmer. In the outfield, it's Thomas. In left field. In center field, Jim Hickman. In right field, B.G. Smith. Now Dick Grote, a right-handed batter, stands deep in the box. Craig outside with a curveball. 1 ball. Dick batting .378. He has hit in 9 straight games, all 9 games that the Pittsburgh Pirates have played this year. Craig with a curveball at the knees, strike one call. Last year, Grote started the season with a flourish. He hit in 11 of the first 11 games the Pittsburgh Pirates had. The check and the swing, it's outside, ball two. 2 balls and 1 strike. Grote led the National League in batting in 1960 with a .325 average. He was also the most valuable player that year. Now Craig with a 2-1 pitch. Down low, ball 3. No score in the game. 1 out in the bottom half of the first inning. Grote has never played in the minor leagues. He started his career right in the Polo Grounds in New York with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Strike called as Grote starts to first base. He'll have to come back. The count goes full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Dick was an All-American basketball player and an All-American baseball player at Duke University. Craig with a 3-2 pitch to Dick Grote. A slider hit down the right field line. This could be trouble. Going over near the fence is Bobby Gene Smith. It's out of the park with foul. Dick Grote missing a home run down the right field line by about 3 feet. And it goes as a long strike, and the count will hold at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Back in the batter's box. Last year he hit .275 for the Pirates. The Pirates going from first to 6th place in the National League standings. They were the world's champions in 1960. Line drive right through the middle into center field. The first base hit of the game. Hickman in center field goes down on one knee as he fields the ball and throws in. So Dick Grote with the first base hit on at first base, and the batter coming up now, Bob Skinner.
Batting in the 3rd position for the Pirates and playing left field, number 4, Bob Skinner.
New York Mets down in order in the top of the first. Now the Pittsburgh Pirates at bat with a runner at first base and 1 out. Skinner, a left-handed batter. Dick Grote, in spite of the fact that he's the shortstop on the ball club, is not fast. He is quick in his actions, but he does not run fast. Skinner fouls the first pitch down the right field foul line. Strike 1. Skinner batting .286. He has 8 base hits and 28 times at bat. One of those hits a home run, and he has 5 runs batted in. Pirates won the first game of the series 8-4. Curveball breaking over, strike 2. So Roger Craig out in front of Bob Skinner, the big left fielder, who bats from the left-hand side. It's a hitter's day, the wind blowing out to left center field, about 25 miles an hour. This is the prevailing wind in Forbes Field. It's a good hitter's ballpark. A bouncing ball to Hodges at first. He turns, makes the throw to second base in time. So they pick up the lead man. And on the play, Skinner is safe at first base on the fielder's choice. If you're scoring, it went 3-6. And here's a hand for Dick Stewart, who had a big day yesterday. He had a home run and a base hit and 4 times up, and he drove in 4 runs. He's the fellow that broke the game open in the 6th inning when he put the Pittsburgh Pirates out in front to stay with his 2-run home run. Stewart batting .314. He has 1 home run on the season with 7 runs batted in. A right-handed batter. Roger Craig to the right-hander with a curveball, swung on a miss, strike 1. Craig fooling Stewart with a slow-breaking curveball. Bob Skinner at first base, being held on by Gil Hodges. The Mets shift on Dick Stewart. They move the second baseman just about in back of the bag at second base. A quick throw to first base right through the legs of Skinner, and Hodges caught it. Skinner turned his back to the pitchers. He got back into first base, and Hodges, who was behind the bag, caught the ball as it went right through Skinner's leg. The third baseman against Dick Stewart, the batter, very deep and near the line. Chacon at shortstop, playing back on the grass. He's a step in back of the dirt infield. Now Hodges moving off. The ball is fouled away as Skinner moves down the line, and Stewart fouls it down in the dirt. No balls and 2 strikes. The outfield against Dick Stewart shifted way over to left field and deep. Jim Hickman in center field, not nearly as deep as Richie Ashburn played Dick Stewart yesterday. Of course, the one ball he hit out of the ballpark, he couldn't play deep enough. The ball was over the top of the scoreboard, 365 feet away, and over the top of a clock that stands about 15 feet high on a scoreboard that's at least 30 feet high. Now Craig with a 2-strike pitch to Dick Stewart. Slider that's fouled back, and the count will hold at 0-2. Stewart swings and misses at a curveball. Strike 3. So Roger Craig, picking up his first strikeout, retires this side. In the inning for the Pittsburgh Pirates, no runs on 1 hit, no errors, 1 man left in the score at the end of 1 inning. The New York Mets nothing, the Pittsburgh Pirates nothing. Well, it's a beautiful day for baseball right here in Pittsburgh, and we understand that the weather is equally as good in New York City. 80 degrees right here, and we hope that all of you have enjoyed a wonderful Easter. You know, coming up very shortly, some more National League Baseball in the Polo Grounds. The Mets will be back in town when they return from Cincinnati on April 27th against the Philadelphia Phillies. That'll be a day game. Then on the 28th, Ladies' Day at the Polo Grounds against the Phillies. Then a doubleheader on the 29th. On the 1st of May, the first night game, and against the National League champions, the Cincinnati Reds. And you can make your ticket purchases at any of 3 locations in New York, at the Polo Grounds, or down in the Pennsylvania Station in the Long Island waiting room area, or at the Grand Central Station area near the Vanderbilt 42nd Street ramp. Also, you can make ticket reservations at any of the Howard Clothes stores around New York City. You can mail in for tickets. All you have to do is write the ticket manager, care of the Polo Grounds, New York 39. Box seats are $3.50, reserve seats $2.50, and be sure to send 25 cents for handling. National League Baseball in the Polo Grounds, and the Mets will return on the 27th of April against the Philadelphia Phillies. And now it's the top of the second, and it's my pleasure to bring in Lindsey Nelson.
All right, Ralph Counter, Frank Thomas, right-hand power hitter, is at the plate as Bob Veal goes into the windup, and the pitch goes high for ball 1. Frank Thomas up for his first time this afternoon. Was reared in the shadow of Forbes Field here in Pittsburgh. And he has his personal rooting section out here this afternoon as the family has come out on Easter Sunday afternoon to watch Father at work. Here's the pitch in there for a called strike. One ball and 1 strike to count to Frank Thomas. As a foul ball out of play going into the stands. So it's 1 ball and 2 strikes now. With Charlie Neal in the on-deck circle now for the New York Mets, manager Casey Stengel shaking up his batting order and his lineup a little bit here this afternoon, still looking for that first victory of the 1962 season, which is the first season ever for the New York Mets. Neal is set to pitch. It's on the way. Tipped back onto the screen and out of play. 1-2 to Frank Thomas. Thomas brings into this game a batting average of an even 300. Neal with a 1-2 pitch going high. 2-2. Thomas took the stride but did not move the bat off the shoulder. Two pitch. High and away. It's ball 3 for the count. Is out full now to Frank Thomas. He's been up 30 times and has 9 hits, including 4 home runs, and he has batted in 6. Frank Thomas batting in the cleanup spot in manager Casey Stengel's batting order. Facing rookie Bob Veal, who led the International League in strikeouts last year with 208. He can fire that baseball. Swing and a miss. He struck him out on a let-up pitch. So Veal gets his first strikeout of the day, and that will bring up Charlie Neal, the second baseman, batting number 5 in the batting order. Charlie Neal is hitting 318. He's been up 22 times, and he has 7 hits, 1 home run, 3 runs batted in. Hobie Landreth, who was injured yesterday when struck by the backlash of a bat swung by Bob Skinner and was sent to the hospital, had 8 stitches taken in his head. However, he is here this afternoon. He is dressed and is on the bench. Here's a pitch. Swing and tip back for strike 1. Hobie told us just a moment ago that he feels that he would be available for duty today if needed. Of course, manager Casey Stengel has 9 right-hand batters in here against the left-hander, and Hobie is a left-hand batter. That's a check swing foul ball back onto the screen, so it goes to strike 2 to Charlie Neal. Hobie Landreth was hit by a bat for the second time this season. He was hit once during the exhibition season in Florida when Floyd Robinson swung the bat all the way around and clipped Hobie. He was unconscious that time. He never did lose consciousness yesterday, but was taken to the hospital where the stitches were taken, and he was kept there for observation. Here's a foul ball out of play. And Landreth says he feels that he is available at any time now, that he is needed. Two-strike count to Charlie Neal at the plate. With 1 man out and nobody on for the Mets. Neal's pitch is fouled off and out of play once again. Chris Pellicutis umpiring behind the plate this afternoon, with Frank Walsh at first, Jocko Conlon at second, and Ken Burkhardt at third. Here's a ground ball. Pass Grote at short, deflected out into center field off Grote's glove. Burden comes in to field the ball, relays it in. Neal takes a wide turn at first, and he is on. So that is a base hit for Charlie Neal, the first hit for the Mets this afternoon. Dick Grote went to his left and did get a glove on it, but just enough to deflect it a little bit. He did not slow it up at all. And here is Gil Hodges, the first baseman, right-hand batter. That is Neal's 4th hit in a row. He's been wrapping the baseball of late. That pitch is in there for a called strike to Gil Hodges. Hodges has been up 12 times and has 2 hits. One of them was a home run on opening night in St. Louis. Throw over to first base. Neal gets back safely. Manager Casey Stengel up on the top step of the dugout. Looking out onto the field here, there is no score in the top half of the second inning. Swing and a miss. He tried to check it, but carried it on around enough to get the strike, and it's 2. 2 strikes on Gil Hodges. pitch is low for a ball. It's 1-2. There's one man out. Charlie Neal, the base runner at first. He takes his lead now as the left-hander. Bob Beal is into the stretch. The pitch to Hodges, and there's a ground ball going up the middle. It's through for a base hit. Charlie Neal takes his turn at second, digging for third. Burton bobbles the ball for a moment. Now relays it into second. Hodges holds it first, and Neal pulls up at third. A base hit up the moment. Beal tried to flag it as it went through the box. Looked for a moment as though he might be able to, but it went on through for the base hit. Mazeroski came to his right, couldn't get to it. So Hodges has his third base hit of the season, a single to center, and the Mets have runners at first and third with one man out, and Jim Hickman is up there. Center fielder, Jim Hickman. Hickman has been up only 3 times this season, still looking for his first base hit. He proved during the exhibition season in Florida that he can field the position in the outfield very well, any position, left, center, or right. Has good speed, has a gliding stride, a good arm. And so now the question is, can he hit Major League pitching? And he's in there today. Beal throws over to first. Not in time to get Hodges. He's back safely. Dick Stewart, the defensive first baseman over there. Cookie Lavagetta coaching at first for the New York Mets. And Solly Hemus is the coach around at third. As Charlie Neal takes his lead now. Down the line, off the bag at third. Big Bob Beal is 6 feet 6 inches tall. Big fella. Fires in there for a called strike to Hickman. Beal wears glasses. Last year, of course, was a mainstay of the Columbus Jets. They won the pennant in the International League. Here's a ground ball, and it's going through for a base hit by Hickman. Neal is coming on to score. Hodges turns at second and holds as Burton's throw is cut off by shortstop Dick Grote. On at first with a single. His first hit of the season and a run batted in is Jim Hickman. The New York Mets are out in front here by a score of 1-0. 3 consecutive base hits with one man out. And now, right-hand batting catcher Chris Cannizzaro is up.
Number 8.
Cannizzaro has been up 11 times. He has 1 hit. Up here now with runners at first and second, shortstop and field captain Dick Grote of the Pittsburgh Pirates has come over to the mound to have a word with Big Bob Beal. Runners leading at first and second. The stretch and the pitch to Cannizzaro. Ground ball to Stewart. He fields it in the glove and makes the play unassisted. Runners advancing to second and third. Dick Stewart with a nice fielding play on a ground ball. Sliced down the line. Went over and gloved it with a one-hand stab and made the play unassisted. Hodges moved to third and Hickman to second. There are 2 men out. And pitcher Roger Craig is coming up.
Batting in the ninth.
Roger Craig coming up for his first time in this ball game. Manager Casey Stengel arranged a lineup and batting order of 9 right-hand batters to face left-hander Bob Beal. It's in there for a called strike 1. Warm, sunny Sunday afternoon in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That's another called strike down the pike to Roger Craig. In Florida, the first time the Mets played the Pittsburgh Pirates, we went over to see Dick Grote to get the starting lineup before the ball game, and Beal was the pitcher. And so when we finished up, I said to Grote, "What does Beal throw?" And Grote said, "Hard." And that's just about the size of it. There's a pitch in there for a called strike 3, a fastball. And Roger Craig has been struck out. Strikeout number 2 for Bob Beal. And the Mets go out in the top half of the second inning with 1 run on 3 hits, no errors, and 2 left. And so at the end of 1 1/2 innings of play at Forbes Field in Pittsburgh, the score is the New York Mets 1 and the Pittsburgh Pirates 0. Well, here we are in this first great year of the return of the National League to New York, and we think that this time it's here to stay. You know, New Yorkers are great people, great sports fans. They deserve a National League team, and Rheingold is proud to be able to make that possible by bringing you these play-by-play broadcasts. We'd like to wish that the Mets make as many friends in New York as Rheingold has over the years. You know, year after year, Rheingold has more fans in New York than any other beer. And the reason is simple enough. Rheingold is the dry beer, and that means a big difference in taste. Dry tells you that Rheingold is brewed the long, slow, costlier way to taste brisk and bright and clean, clear through. Why don't you enjoy a cold glass of Rheingold right now, along with the game, and join the millions who say, my beer is Rheingold, the dry beer. We'll be going to the bottom half of the second inning. Roger Craig, the pitcher for the New York Mets, and he will be facing Roberto Clemente, Mogi Burgess, and Don Hope. Dick Groat has the only hit off Craig thus far. By getting that base hit, Dick Groat kept alive a hitting streak. Now that he's run to 10 games, he has hit safely in every game played. And here is Clemente, up to lead off for the Pittsburgh Pirates, batting 294. He's been up 34 times and has 10 hits, including 2 home runs, 2 triples, and 2 doubles. Roger Craig is looking in to catcher Chris Cannizzaro to get the sign. He has it, dips into the windup. Here's the pitch, and as it drives down the right field line, it's fair and going to the wall. Clemente rounds first, digs for second. Here is Smith throw to second base, and he is safe at second. Nice slide, and Emilio Chacon, trying to get the tag on him, has a word with Jocko Conlon, the umpire, but it goes as a double for Roberto Clemente. And he reached way out for a high outside pitch and smacked it down the right field line. Anything he can reach is in the strike zone, and it paid off for him there. So the Pirates have a runner at second, nobody out, and catcher Mogi Burgess coming up. Mogi is hitting 263. He's been up 19 times and has 5 base hits.
Number 6, Mogi Burgess.
That pitch goes high to Burgess. These Pittsburgh Pirates have not lost a game. They have won 9 straight. The only other undefeated team in the major leagues at the moment, the St. Louis Cardinals, who have won 7 and lost none. Craig now checks the runner, and here's the pitch, and there's a fly ball going deep to right. Bobby Gene Smith in the right field corner near the wall. He has it. Clemente is tagged up at second, going to third. The throw comes across. Chacon takes it, cuts it off as Clemente slides safely into third. So Mogi Burgess has flied out to Bobby Gene Smith in right. Clemente has moved to third after the catch, and that will bring up third baseman, right-hand batter Don Hope.
Batting in the 7th position and playing third base.
Hope is hitting 281. He has been up 32 times and has 9 hits, 3 triples, and 1 home run. The New York Mets now pull the infield in to try to cut off the run at the plate. The Mets are leading here by a score of 1-0 over the undefeated Pittsburgh Pirates. Roger Craig looking into Cannizzaro to go to work on Don Hope. This is the man he wants. And the pitch is inside for a ball. Ron Northey is coaching at first for the Pirates, and Frank Osiak, the coach, around at third. Again, Roger Craig is set to work. Curveball swung on and missed. It's 1-1. One ball and 1 strike to Hoke at the plate. Tall, rangy Roger Craig into the windup. Pitch swung on and fouled off out of play. 1-2 the count. ball, 2 strikes to Hope. As Craig is ahead of the batter at the moment. Into the windup. Pitch. Right in there for a call, strike 3. Got him looking, and Don Hope knew it was in there. He simply turned and walked out of the batter's box, drops the bat, and heads for the dugout. That brings up Mazeroski. Cannizzaro has gone out to the mound now for a little conference with Roger Craig. Don Zimmer has come in from third. Gil Hodges has come in from first. Charlie Neal has come in from second. Looks like a Dodger convention out there with Craig, Hodges, Neal, and Zimmer at the mound. A very timely strikeout. Engineered there by Roger Craig as he got Hope. There are 2 men out, and now the infield retreats, of course, with 2 men out and the runner at third to normal depth. Mets leading by a score of 1-0 over the Pittsburgh Pirates in the bottom half of the second inning. Roger Craig into the windup, and the pitch is high and away for ball 1 to Bill Mazeroski. He's hitting .353. He's not 34 times and has 12 base hits, including 2 triples and 3 home runs. Mazeroski has batted in 8 runs thus far in the young season. Craig's pitch is a ground ball to deep short. Chacon has it in the hole. The long throw to first in time. He's out. So Bill Mazeroski has grounded out from Elio Chacon, who made the long throw beautifully over to Gil Hodges in time. And the Pirates are out in the bottom half of the second inning with no runs on 1 hit, the double by Clemente, no errors, and 1 man left. And at the end of 2 full innings of play at Forbes Field in Pittsburgh, the score is the New York Mets 1 and the Pittsburgh Pirates 0. Now let's look at scores of other games around the National League. In Cincinnati, the San Francisco Giants and the Cincinnati Reds have played 3.5 innings, with the Reds leading the Giants 1-0. Sanford for San Francisco and Joey J for Cincinnati. Chicago is at St. Louis for a doubleheader. In the first game, it is Ellsworth for Chicago, Sadecki for St. Louis, and Ernie Banks is homered in the first with 2 on for Chicago. They're still at bat, leading 3-0. Los Angeles at Milwaukee this afternoon. Don Drysdale against Bob Shaw. And Philadelphia is at Houston this afternoon. In the American League, Detroit leads Boston 4-1. Bunning against Monbouquet. Cash homered in the first with 1 on. Baltimore leads Washington 1-0 at the end of an inning and a half. And coming in here right now, a man who for 7 years either led or was tied for the home run lead in the National League, more years than any other man in any major league, Ralph Kiner. Ralph?
Thank you, Lindsay, and all set to go. It's Don Zimmer leading off in the top of the third. Zimmer, a right-handed batter, swings at the first pitch, and a high pop-up to the shortstop position. Dick Grote is there, flips his glasses down, and he makes the catch. So Zimmer leading off for the Mets as they lead in the ball game. 1-0 is down, and the batter coming up, Elio Chacon. Chacon, a fine play to pick up the final out in the second inning against the Pittsburgh Pirates from the hole position at shortstop. Elio 0 for 1 today. He flied out to right field, a right-handed batter. He is 1 for 5 in the season, batting .200. Bob Bealey with a slow curveball, breaking over. Strike 1 called. The Mets got out in front in the second inning when, after Frank Thomas struck out, Charlie Neal singled to left center, and then Hodges and Hickman singled behind. Hickman's driving in the first and only run of the ball game, a slow curveball outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Chacon swings at the next pitch, then fouls it down the third baseline. Charlie Hemus there tries to handle it, can't make it. Now goes over and picks it up. So the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Really a big tall boy in the mound. He stands 6'6", looking for the sign. Now has it, and the 1-2 pitch to Chacon. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. So Chacon goes down swinging. That's strikeout number 3 by Veely. Out number 2, and B.G. Smith comes in.
We will now pause for station identification.
Now Veely with a curveball. Swung on and missed. Strike 1. Veely has a very fast fastball, and he lets up considerably on his curve. There's a fast pitch hit off the hands up in the air to right field. Clemente coming on quickly, makes the basket catch for out number 3. In the inning for the Mets, 3 up and 3 down. And the score at the end of 2 1/2 innings of play. The New York Mets 1, the Pittsburgh Pirates 0. Coming up now, jazz, smooth, suave, and sweet. Listen.
My beer is Rheingold, the dry beer. Think of Rheingold whenever you buy beer.
It's not bitter,
Not sweet, it's a dry flavor treat. Won't you try extra dry Rheingold beer? Won't you try extra dry Rheingold beer?
Like the song says, people everywhere sing out, my beer is Rheingold, the dry beer. And dry tells you why. Yes, sir. Dry tells you Rheingold has a brisk, bright, clean taste all of its own. Discover the difference dry makes. Pour yourself a tall, refreshing glass of Rheingold Extra Dry. Why don't you enjoy it right along with the ball game? Well, as we move right along with the ball game, the score of the game 1-0 in favor of the New York Mets. Ralph Kiner along with Lindsey Nelson and Bob Murphy. And it's the bottom half of the 3rd inning. And coming up to bat for the first time, Bob Bealey, the big pitcher for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Roger Craig on the mound, working now his 3rd inning. And the right-hander to the left-handed batter, outside, ball 1. Craig has worked 2 innings, giving up no runs on 2 hits. He struck out 2, and he has walked none. Craig with a fastball. It's hit down the left field line, but foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. Roger appears to be a little sharper with his control than he was in his first 2 starts, both of them losing starts. And he actually has stated that he believes that he was a little too careful in his initial starts for the Mets. A slow curveball, a check in the swing. It's called ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. Bealey, a big guy, really looked as though he wanted to go it that way. He's a switch hitter, Bob Bealey. Weighs 212 pounds. There's a swing and a miss, strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1-0. New York Mets lead. Bottom half of the 3rd inning. No one out. And the pitcher, Bob Bealey, the batter. Bealey was originally an outfielder and a first baseman in professional ball. There's a swing and a miss, strike 3. So Craig picks up strikeout number 3 as he gets Bealey. 1 man out, and the batter now, Bill Verdon. Verdon flied out to left field in the 1st inning, batting for the 2nd time. He has 11 hits and 38 times at bat. No home runs, 1 run batted in. Left-handed batter, Craig with a fastball, up too high, ball 1. Don Zimmer at 3rd base, even with the bag. Infield shortened up. Verdon can run. The outfield is straight away. Now Craig back. A changeup that's outside. Ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Cannizzaro takes a couple steps out in front of home plate to return the ball. Hodges at 1st. Neal at 2nd. Chacon at shortstop. Zimmer at 3rd. Manager K.T. Stengel with an all right-handed hitting lineup. In the outfield, Thomas, Hickman, and V.G. Smith. Craig with the 2-0 pitch to Verdon. Hit down on the ground to Hodges off his chest, but the ball stays in front of him. A nice block play. Picks it up, tags first base, and Verdon goes down. Well, Gil Hodges blocking the ball on the bad hop kept it right in front of him. A fine play, and 2 men are down. One nothing in favor of the Mets, and now Dick Groat steps in. Groat picked up the first hit for the Pittsburgh Pirates in the 1st inning when he singled to center field. He came on at .378, now has 15 hits and 38 times at bat. with his first pitch to Grote is high inside. He moves Dick away from the plate. Ball one. Now Craig to Grote with a sidearm fastball that's high again, ball two. This time over the plate high. 2 balls and no strikes on a 80-degree day in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The second game of a 3-game series. Tomorrow will be a night game. 2-0 pitch is low, ball 3. Craig with a curveball just below the knees. 3 balls and no strikes. 1-0 New York. 2 men out in the bottom of the third. Strike call. Craig right through. 3-1. Grote last year walked but 40 times. He is not a base-on-balls hitter. 3-1 pitch. Right through again. He was taking a slider this time, catching on the outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. So Grote now down the line with Roger Craig. Craig with a 3-2 pitch. A drive to center field. Hickman moving back, gliding back, takes it on the run, away from the diamond for out number 3. Jim Hickman, a fine running catch in center field to retire the side. 3 up and 3 down for the Pittsburgh Pirates in the third. And the score at the end of 3 innings, the New York Mets, 1 run on 3 hits. The Pittsburgh Pirates, no runs on 2. Well, we're moving along in the ball game on a beautiful day here in Pittsburgh. And, of course, this is the second game of a 3-game series. The Pittsburgh Pirates won the first game 8-4. Now let's check the scoreboard out in left field for you. In the National League, the Mets out in front 1-0 over Pittsburgh at the end of 3. San Francisco trailing Cincinnati at the end of 3 1/2, 1-0. Cincinnati 1, San Francisco 0. Chicago has scored 3 big runs in the top of the first. St. Louis coming to bat. St. Louis actually has not lost a game so far this year. Los Angeles at Milwaukee. And Philadelphia at Houston. And we see now that Beta Pinson for Cincinnati has a home run in the fourth with a man on. So that'll give Cincinnati at least a 3-0 lead. Over the American League, it's Detroit 5, Boston 1. Baltimore 1, Washington 1. That Detroit game at the end of 2. Baltimore 1, Washington 1 at the end of 3. Cleveland 1, New York 1 at the end of 2. Kansas City scored 2 in the top of the first. Chicago batting. Minnesota at Los Angeles, no score as of yet. Right here, it's 1-0 in favor of the New York Mets. It's the top of the fourth, and batting for New York, Frank Thomas. Bob Bealey, a left-hander, to Frank Thomas with a fastball. It's fouled away, strike 1. Frank struck out against Bealey in his first appearance against him. Frank living in Pittsburgh, playing before a lot of hometown fans. Also has his family out here, which is almost a complete group in itself. Frank has 6 children. 1 strike pitch, a curveball, hit the Dick Grote on 1 hop. He backs up, makes the play over to first base. A lob throw gets Thomas for out number 1. That'll bring up Charlie Neal, who has scored the only run of the game. He singled to left center, went to third base when Gil Hodges singled to center field, and then scored when Jim Hickman singled to center field, and the score 1-0. Charlie has 4 straight hits. First pitch to Charlie Neal is high in the air to left field. Coming over from center field, Burden, and drifting back now as the wind takes it out further to left center. And he makes the catch. So 2 men are down, and the batter coming up, Gil Hodges. Gil 1 for 1.
Well, we're late with this game.
1-0 New York with Hodges batting. First pitch to Gil, curveball, strike 1 call. Hodges with his base hit, moving his average up about 70 points to 231. There's a strike called, strike two. Base hits at this stage of the season, adding anywhere from 100 to 125 points in some cases. Now Veely calling time, and Burgess goes out halfway to talk to him on the mound. Veely, a big fellow, 6'6", towers over Mogi Burgess. In a semi-pro game, Veely in Birmingham once struck out 22 men in a game. He had 208 strikeouts for Columbus in the International League last year. Veely with a fastball, dribbled down towards third base. Veely can't get it. Hope can't pick it up. And we'll see how it's scored. It's scored a base hit. So Gil Hodges gets his second hit of the game. He's on at first base, and the batter now is Jim Hickman. That's hit number 4 for the New York Mets. And Hickman steps in the batter's box, and he has driven in the only run of the game. That was his first base hit in the major leagues, incidentally. Hickman batting from the right-hand side. Jim has a graceful stance and has graceful ability. First pitch to him is inside, ball one, down around the knees. First base, but Hodges gets back easily. Stewart holding Hodges on. Hodges is a good base runner. Now Veely to the plate. Slow ground ball down the third base line, but going foul. In the L.A.-Milwaukee game, which is just underway, time has been called as Hank Aaron has injured himself running into the center field wall. No score in that game as of yet. Speaking of injuries, Hobie Landreth had to have several stitches taken in the back of his head when he was hit in the back of the head by a swinging bat. But he was all right last evening, sitting down in the lobby and joking with all the other players. He's in uniform here today. Now in the Milwaukee game, the Dodgers have gone out in front in the top of the first on a home run by Tommy Davis with 2 men on. So they lead that game at least 3-0, and Bertie Tempett's having his troubles over in Milwaukee. They can't get off at all. Milwaukee has won only 2 games out of their 10 that they have played. Time in here. 1-1 pitch to Hickman. Popped up in the air in foul territory. Coming over by the dugout, Mogi Burgess. He is there, and he drops the ball. Smokey a little worried about the dugout steps as he came over by the Pittsburgh dugout, and it scored as no play, no error on the play. One ball and 2 strikes to Jim Hickman. 2 outs to score 1-0 New York. Top of the 4th inning. Hodges at first base. Fastball is down below the knees. Hickman started the swing and then held up. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now Veely checking Hodges, and to the plate with a curveball gets by Burgess back on the screen. Hodges moving down to second base. And it scored a fastball. Hodges running halfway down the line towards third, draws Burgess up quickly to the home plate area. So now Hodges in scoring position. The count moving up 1 more ball. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Jim Hickman. Two outs. to the plate. A curveball hit hard through the hole in the left field. Hodges rounding third base. Skinner up with the ball, does not come home. He throws to second base, and this will score Gil Hodges. And that makes the score of the game 2-0. And now Jim Hickman with 2 base hits and 2 runs batted in. That will bring up Chris Cannizzaro, the catcher. Hickman out at first base. Cannizzaro was out unassisted to Dick Stewart in his only try today. So Bailey working in his second major league start behind 2-0 in the top of the fourth. His first pitch to Cannizzaro, a right-handed batter, is a fastball that's high, ball 1. Chris has 1 hit and 12 times up this year. Manager Casey Stengel with an all right-handed hitting lineup. There's a throw to first base, but Hickman back easily. Hank Aaron was taken out of that game. Next pitch to Cannizzaro out to right field. Clemente moving back in the warning track, takes it by the wall, and it's out number 3. Not too tough a chance. Clemente moving very quickly. So in the inning, the New York Mets pick up 1 more run on 2 base hits, no errors, 1 man left, and the score at the end of 3 1/2 innings of play, the New York Mets 2, the Pittsburgh Pirates, nothing. You know, many of you baseball fans these days are filter smokers. And if you're like me, you just don't like the harsh taste of unfiltered cigarettes anymore. But even among filter cigarettes, there's a big difference in taste. Some taste so strong, you wouldn't know they had a filter at all. Others taste so light that there's no more fun or flavor in smoking. Well, now you don't have to settle for a minor league taste in your cigarettes because Viceroy tastes the way you'd like a filter cigarette to taste. Boy, Viceroy is not too strong, not too light. Viceroy's got the taste that's right. Fans, find out for yourself. Smoke all 7 leading filter cigarettes, and I'll bet you'll find some taste too strong, some too light. But Viceroy's got the taste that's right. That's right, fans. Pick up a carton today and start enjoying Viceroy's Lick. Leading taste. Due to the fact that there was a pass ball in the 4th inning, which allowed Gil Hodges to get down to second base in scoring position for Jim Hickman, the driving in, that run in the inning unearned. The technical part of baseball, fastballs go as unearned runs, and wild pitches, if they are involved in scoring, go as earned runs. Now it's the bottom half of the 4th. The Mets out in front, 2-0, and Bob Skinner leading off for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Roger Craig with a curveball, strike 1. Craig now working inning number 4, has given up only 2 base hits. He struck out 3. Skinner was safe in a fielder's choice in his first time up. He is 0 for 1. Inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Cleveland Indians added 5 runs in the top of the 3rd. They lead the Yankees 6-1. A foul straight back of home plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Shakes off the first sign from his catcher, Cannizzaro. Now back to the plate. And the ball's popped up in the shallow center field. Hickman gliding in from center field, has room, and makes his catch. Out number 1. And now while we have a few seconds, we pause for station identification.
810 on your radio dial. This is WGY Schenectady.
Fox for Pittsburgh. 1 man down. The score 2-0 in favor of the Mets. It's the bottom half of the 4th inning. Ralph Kiner along with Bob Murphy and Lindsey Nelson on the play-by-play, sending you the details from Forbes Field in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The second game of a 3-game series. Tomorrow night game. Starting at 8 o'clock, I believe. I'll check that time for you and make sure. Stewart, who struck out swinging in the first inning, batting from the right-hand side. Roger Craig, his first pitch, hit high in the air to right field. B.G. Smith is there, waiting, and he makes a catch. So 2 men down, and Bob Clemente, the batter. Game time on that night game tomorrow, 8:15. So we'll be bringing you the ball game at 8:15, New York time, from Forbes Field here in Pittsburgh. Here is Roberto Clemente, a right-handed batter. Clemente has one of the 2 hits off Roger Craig, a double down the right field line. He was almost thrown out by B.G. Smith in the fine plays. He played the ball off the wall. Clemente hit a curveball that was outside down the right field line his first time up. There's a fastball high, ball 1. Clemente batting .314 on the season. Winds one on the ground down to Charlie Neal. He digs it out to throw to first base in time. And a good play by Neal, retires the side. In the inning for the Mets, no runs, no hits, no errors. And the score at the end of 4. The New York Mets 2, the Pittsburgh Pirates nothing. And as we move to the top of the 5th inning, once again it's my pleasure to bring to you the nation's top sports announcer for the last 3 consecutive years, Lindsey Dawson.
Thank you very much, Ralph Kiner, and we're going now to the 5th inning with the Mets out in front by a score of 2-0. Bob Bealey on the mound for the Pittsburgh Pirates. And the Mets will be sending up here Roger Craig, Don Zimmer, and Elio Chacon. Looking at the scoreboard, the San Francisco Giants and the Cincinnati Reds have completed 4 innings. Cincinnati leading now by a score of 5-0. Stanford for the Giants, Jay for Cincinnati, Pinson homered, Johnny Edwards is homered for Cincinnati, and Tom Haller now has homered in the top of the 5th with 1 man on. So the Giants have scored a couple of times and they're still batting in the top of the 5th. And now Roger Craig steps into the batter's box. Right-hand batter, Bob Bealey, into the windup and the pitch, and it's ball 1, down low. Craig's been up 1 time, and he struck out. Pitch is in there for a call strike. Has a foul ball off the end of the batter, Roger Craig, out of play. One and 2 now, with nobody on and nobody out for the New York Mets, batting in the top half of the 5th inning. On a beautiful Easter Sunday afternoon in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. There's a swing and a miss. He struck him out for the 2nd time today. So Don Zimmer is coming up now for the Mets. He walked in the first inning. Went out short in the 3rd. So he is nothing for 1 and a walk. Up there in the leadoff spot in Manager Casey Stengel's batting order this afternoon. Tall, rangy Bob Bealey winds and fires the overhand curveball. It misses inside for ball 1. Manager Danny Murtaugh stuck Bealey right into the starting rotation. He expects great things of this rookie. That's the fastball, missing inside. It's ball 2. And the Pirates still, of course, are hoping that Vernon Law will come along with a fine season. There's a fly ball to left field. Skinner is going back in the warning track, and he makes the catch against the wall in left field. Don Zimmer uncorking a fly ball deep to left. Skinner went back as far as he could go in the warning track and then leaped up and pulled it down. 2 away, nobody on, and shortstop Elio Chacon is coming up. He flied to right and he struck out. He is nothing for 2. Chacon is a right-hand batter. Started out in the spring training season at shortstop, took over on the very first day, and then was benched by injuries and had some difficulty getting back into the lineup. That pitch is in there for a called strike. As a let-up curveball, it goes low. It's 1-1. Bob Veely spells his name V-E-A-L-E and pronounces it Veely. He's from Birmingham, Alabama. Has a ground ball going to Hoke at third. He gets it on a big hop, plays across to Dick Stewart in time, and he's out to retire the side. Chacon grounding out third to first. The Mets are out in order in the top half of the fifth inning on no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. The end of 4 1/2 innings of play at Forbes Field in Pittsburgh. The score is New York Mets 2 and the Pittsburgh Pirates nothing. Ask any manager in the league, and he's sure to agree the true test of a good hitter isn't his batting average against second-string pitching. No, sir, it's how well he does against the ace pitchers around the league. And top-flight competition is the true test of a cigarette, too. That's why I say smoke all 7 leading filter cigarettes. You'll find some taste too strong. They might as well not have a filter at all. Others taste too light. They take all the man-sized flavor out of smoking. But I'll bet dollars to donuts your taste will tell you Viceroy bats 1,000 against all comers. Because Viceroy's got the taste that's right.
1, 2, 3, 4, go. If your filter cigarette is tasting too strong, don't you sometimes wonder if your brand is wrong?
Well, Viceroy tastes the way you'd like a filter cigarette to taste. Not too strong.
Not too light. Viceroy's got
The taste that's right.
That's right.
That's right.
The Pittsburgh Pirates are coming up in the bottom half of the fifth inning with Mogi Burgess at the plate. He's been up one time and he flied to right. Roger Craig winds and fires. Slow curveball outside. Ball 1. Craig has retired 9 Pirates in a row. He has given up 2 hits thus far. And the Pittsburgh faithful have begun the rhythmic applause here in the bottom half of the fifth inning. And as the drive going into right field, it's in there for a base hit. Bobby Jean Smith gets it on one hop, fires it back in. Mogi Burgess with a single to right. And the Pirates have a runner on first. Nobody out, and John Hoke is coming up. He's been up one time and he struck out. That is base hit number 3 for the Pirates off Roger Craig. The New York Mets are leading here by a score of 2-0 over the undefeated Pittsburgh Pirates, who have won 9 in a row starting on opening day. Pitch is low for ball. Hoke's a right-hand batter. Sidearm pitch, foul back and out of play. John Hoke right now batting 273. He's been up 33 times and has 9 hits, 1 home run and 6 runs batted in. Hoke is a scrapper. He was a big man for the Pirates in their pennant-winning season of 1960 and last year as well. As a fly ball down the line in left, moving over into foul territory, being chased by Chacon and Zimmer. Neither can get to it. It's in the stands and out of play. Chacon and Zimmer both hustling back there, getting back to the bullpen area of the Pittsburgh Pirates. So it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Hoke at the plate. Chris Cannizzaro gone out to the mound there for a moment to have a word with Roger Craig. Comes back now to assume his position behind the plate. Nobody out on a runner at first. Mogi Burgess there for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Here's a 1-2 pitch curveball and has a high fly to right. Bobby Gene Smith going back. He is in the warning track, and he takes it for the out. Burgess halfway on the fly ball to right, returns to the bag at first, no advance. Don Hoke with an opposite field fly ball taken by Bobby Gene Smith. Jim Hickman had made the long run over from center to get over there for any possible help to Bobby Gene Smith. Hickman covers a lot of territory out there in center field. Bill Mazeroski up now. He's been up one time, and he grounded out short to first. One man out, runner at first for the Buccaneers of Pittsburgh. Craig is into the stretch. Here's a curveball hit on the ground, foul. Backhanded by Don Zimmer at third, but in foul territory, so it goes to strike one to Bill Mazeroski. Mazeroski has come back, picked up the bat, steps back into the batter's box. Gil Hodges is not trying to hold Mogi Burgess on the bag at first. They don't figure he's going to be trying to steal. And there's a fly ball high to left field, down the line, curving into foul territory. Again, they give it the run. It's in the stands. Almost the identical spot that Hoke hit one a moment ago. And again, Chacon was back there as far as he could go. Zimmer was back there, and Thomas had hustled over. Say this, Chacon starts in that shortstop position and goes on those balls hit down the left field line like that. 2-strike count now to Mazeroski at the plate as Roger Craig has managed to get ahead of the batter here. Two-strike count. Burgess leads at first. Hodges fakes him. Here's a ground ball going through the hole into left field for a base hit. Frank Thomas up with it. Burgess holds it second. Throw comes back to Chacon at shortstop. Zimmer dived for the ball at third. Couldn't get a glove on it as it went through for a base hit. So now it's going to be Bob Feely, the pitcher, coming up. The Pirates have runners at first and second, one man out. They're batting in the bottom half of the fifth, and the New York Mets lead by a score of 2-0. Conference at the mound. Gil Hodges, Roger Craig, Don Zimmer. Feely has been up one time, and he struck out. Big, rangy left-hand batter who takes a rip at the ball. Roger Craig into the stretch. Hodges sets to charge. Craig bluffs to throw, but does not throw. Now comes down off the mound for about one step. Moves out to dirt, into the stretch position, and here's a swing and a miss. Feely was not bunting there. So Hodges retreats a couple of steps, and Zimmer retreats about a step. Zimmer's still in about on the edge of the grass. Hodges now about even with the bag at first against the left-hand batter. Strike one count to Feely, who took a rip at that one. Here's the pitch. Curveball missing outside. It's 1-1. Roger Craig trying to pitch himself out of trouble here as the Pirates have runners on first and second. Mazeroski at first. Burgess at second. One man out. The Mets leading 2-0. Craig is into the stretch. Hodges fakes the runner back to first. Curveball outside. 2-1. The maneuver that Hodges is using there on Mazeroski at first is mark of a veteran ball player. Of course, with runners at first and second, Hodges is not trying to hold the runner on, but on the pitch, he's trying to make the move to get that runner started back towards the bag. So if a ground ball is hit, chances of the double play are excellent. Now the throw to second, taken by Chacon, and Burgess slides back in safely. Two balls, one strike to Feely. There's a bunt going to Craig at the mound. He's going to third base to Zimmer, and he's out at third. Zimmer had to reach up but kept the toe on the bag, so they got the lead man. As with the count, 2 balls and 1 strike, manager Danny Murtaugh put the sacrifice on there, and Bealey bunted the ball a little too hard, taken by Craig. He wheeled and threw over to third a little high, but Zimmer stretched as far as he could go, kept the toe on the bag, and they got the force there. Situation, runners at first and second, 2 men out, leadoff man Bill Verdon coming up. Bealey is on at first, having forced Mogi Burgess. Play there went 1-5 if you're scoring, 2 away. Mazeroski moving to second on the play, and here's Verdon. He's been up twice without a hit. He flied to left, and he grounded out to first base unassisted. Curveball is hit right back to Craig, a comebacker. He waits for Hodges to cover, throws in time, and he's out. So Verdon has grounded out Craig to Hodges, and the Pittsburgh Pirates are out in the bottom half of the 5th inning with no runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left. And at the end of 5 full innings of play at Forbes Field in Pittsburgh, the score is New York Mets 2 and the Pittsburgh Pirates nothing. Well, you know, there's an old saying that goes, there's no such thing as a bad beer. It's just that some are better than others. Well, we can subscribe to that. But what does make one beer better than another? We believe we have the answer in the word dry. Yes, dry tells you why Rheingold is a better beer. Better because it's more refreshing, more wonderfully suited to your taste. Rheingold is beer as beer should taste. Brisk and bright and clean clear through. Rheingold's extra dry brewing process is long, slow, and costlier, but it pays off in taste. The better taste you find with Rheingold alone. So if you're searching for a better beer, look no more. Look to Rheingold Extra Dry. Enjoy a glass of fine, cold Rheingold along with the baseball and see why millions say, my beer is Rheingold, the dry beer. We're going to the top half of the 6th inning. Grounds crew has been out to drag the infield at the end of 5 in accordance with National League rules. And the Mets will send up Bobby Gene Smith, Frank Thomas, and Charlie Neal. Bob Bealey, the starting pitcher, still in there for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Both starting pitchers still in the ball game. In case you have joined us along the way, the Mets scored first in the top of the 2nd when Charlie Neal singled, Gil Hodges singled, and Jim Hickman singled to drive in a run. He scored again in the top half of the 4th. Here's the first pitch to Bobby Gene Smith. Let-up curveball is in there for a called strike. In the 4th, Hodges beat out a hit to third, went to second on a pass ball, and then Jim Hickman singled him home. So Hickman has driven in both the Met runs this afternoon. Strike 1 count to Bobby Gene Smith. That's the plate. Bealey tries the fastball. It's cut on and fouled off. Out of play. Bobby Gene Smith hit into a double play and flied to right. Batting number 3 in manager Casey Stengel's batting order here this afternoon. 2 strike count to Smith. There's a drive going into center field for a base hit. Line drive, and Verdon comes over, scoops it up, fires it in, turning and holding it first is Bobby Gene Smith. With his first hit of the afternoon, a clean single to center. And that is hit number 6 for the New York Mets off Bob Bealey. Yesterday, the Mets got 13 hits in a losing cause, 8-4. Here is Frank Thomas coming up. Struck out and grounded out.
2 p.m. with 77 degrees.
The announcement in the press box area that the temperature at 2 p.m. was 77 degrees. Thomas has stepped out of the batter's box. Time has been called. Thomas hitting right now 281. He's been up 32 times and has 9 hits. Has that bad cock. The throw goes instead to first, and Bobby Gene Smith is back easily. Stewart holding against the runner over there. Frank Thomas has 4 home runs to his credit. There's a high fly ball going into short center. Grote is going out and calling. And he makes the catch. No advance by Smith at first. So Thomas pops out to Dick Grote, who took it in short center. And Charlie Neal is coming up. Neal is 1 for 2 this afternoon. He had 3 base hits in a row yesterday. He has scored 1 run. Neal's current batting average is .333. He has been up 24 times. He has 8 base hits, 1 home run, and 3 runs batted in. Healy checks Smith. He's running, and there's a swing and a miss, and the throw goes through to second base, and he's out at second. Dick Grote making the tag as the hit and run was on. Pitch was outside, and Neal took the cut at it, trying to get a piece of it, and Bobby Gene Smith was thrown out. It goes 2-6 if you're scoring. 2 away, nobody on, and the count to Charlie Neal, strike 1 at the plate. Really into the stretch, now steps off the rubber. Pitch is low. Neal checked it, and it's 1-1. As Ralph Kiner has pointed out, the wind is blowing out toward the left field wall here this afternoon. That pitch is right down the pike for a call, strike 1. It's 2-1. Curveball missing outside. 2-2. Bob Veely, who can rear back and fire that baseball, has been using a great many off-speed pitches here this afternoon. Fired that one. Missed with it. Mogi Burgess trying to fake his way into a call. Took a couple of steps toward the dugout, but Pelicutis called it a ball. It's out 3-2 now to Charlie Neal. He missed high and away. It's ball 4. So that is the second walk given up by Bob Veely, who has struck out 4. And Gil Hodges is coming up. Hodges is 2 for 2 this afternoon. Single on the ground to center field and at an infield hit to third. So that Hodges right now is hitting 286 and up 14 times and has 4 base hits. He is an example of what we have frequently mentioned about batting averages being misleading in the early season. As a call strike, he checked it. Hodges started the day hitting 167. He's picked up 2 base hits and is now hitting 286. That can happen in the early season. A base hit here and there can change that batting average radically. A little later on, it's more difficult to change it. Strike 1 count. Here's the pitch. Swung on and foul. Back onto the screen, out of play. It's strike 2. Top half of the 6th inning. The New York Mets have 2 men out and a runner at first, Charlie Neal, as the Mets are leading here by a score of 2-0 over the Pittsburgh Pirates. That pitch misses outside. It's 1-2 now to Hodges. Time call as Veely wants another ball and Chris Pelicutis fires out another one to him. Now Veely is into the stretch position. Charlie Neal takes his lead at first. Stewart is holding against the runner there. Here's a drive, 1 hop to Grote at short. He plays it over to Mazeroski for the 4th. And Gil Hodges has forced Charlie Neal at second. Play going from Grote to Mazeroski. It was a smash on 1 hop to Grote right at him. And so, in the top half of the 6th, the New York Mets got no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. And at the end of 5 1/2 innings of play at Forbes Field in Pittsburgh, the score is the New York Mets 2 and the Pittsburgh Pirates nothing. Now, here's a chance to relax with one of the most talented entertainers in the nation.
Hi, this is Nat King Cole. Rheingold beer is the great beer to buy. Rheingold beer is delightfully dry. It's the most refreshing beer anywhere. Delightfully dry. No beer can compare with Rheingold beer. May I ask you to try Rheingold beer? It's refreshingly dry, and the beer that more New Yorkers buy. Rheingold beer, Rheingold extra dry. My beer is Rheingold, the dry beer. I think of Rheingold whenever you buy beer. With a taste you can't beat, it's the extra dry treat. Won't you try extra dry Rheingold beer?
Leading off in the bottom of the sixth, Dick Grote is up for the Pittsburgh Pirates as Roger Craig winds and fires out of 10 there for a called strike one. Dick Grote has hit safely in all 10 games played by the Pittsburgh Pirates this season. This afternoon, he singled in the first inning, flied to center in the third. Craig's pitch curveball swung on, ground ball to third. Demmer is up with it. Throw across to Hodges, in time, and he's out. Throw a little low. Hodges dug it up. So Grote is grounded out. Demmer to Hodges, one away. And Bob Skinner is coming up. He forced Grote in the first inning and flied to center in the fourth. Skinner batting number 3 in the batting order, left-hand batter. Roger Craig dips into the windup, and the pitch swung on and missed for strike one. One away and nobody on for the Pittsburgh Pirates, batting in the bottom half of the sixth inning. Dick Stewart has moved into the on-deck circle. Here's the pitch, and that's a drive going deep to right field. It's going, and it's in the upper deck for a home run for Bob Skinner. That is number 2 for Bob Skinner. Left-hand batter Bob Skinner got hold of that one and pulled it into the upper deck to hit the top of the screen out there and rebound it back onto the field. But it's a home run for Skinner, his second of the season. There's one man out. Dick Stewart is coming up, and the score is the New York Mets 2 and the Pittsburgh Pirates 1. That is the 5th hit that the Pirates have off Roger Craig this afternoon. Charlie Neal is playing directly behind the bag at second on full hitter Dick Stewart. Has a curveball in there for a called strike. Stewart's flying out to right field in the bottom half of the fourth inning, something very unusual for him. And they play him strictly to full. Chacon is way over in the hole on the edge of the grass. Zimmer is playing deep and near the line. Jim Hickman and Finn has swung way over toward the left. Has a foul ball off the end of Stewart's bat. Strike 2 count. Charlie Neal directly behind the bag at second on the edge of the grass. The Dick Stewart defense. Stewart's batting average right now is 297. He's been up 37 times and has 11 hits. He has 1 home run. He hit that yesterday over the scoreboard. He has 7 runs batted in. That pitch misses outside. 1-2. Bottom half of the sixth inning, the Pirates at bat, trailing now by 1 run. As the New York Mets lead them 2-1. This is outside. 2-2.
13,780. 13780.
The official paid attendance here this Sunday afternoon, 13,780 at Forbes Field in Pittsburgh. One man out for the Pirates, nobody on. 2-2 count to Dick Stewart. There's a foul ball off the bat of Stewart, out of play. Count holds at 2-2. He's standing outside the batter's box now, and he wants the rosin bag. So Roberto Clemente, who is in the on-deck circle, brings it out to Dick Stewart. Now Stewart turns, walks back around. Steps into the batter's box to face Roger Craig. Stewart has struck out and flied to right in his two previous trips to the plate. Here's a pitch, missing high. Ball 3. So it's full to Stewart, 3-2. Casey Stengel has moved up to the top deck now of the New York Mets dugout. Looking out onto the field as we're waiting for this payoff pitch. There's a drive going into left field for a base hit. Hickman is coming over from center to scoop it up and fire it back in, and Dick Stewart has singled to left center, and Roberto Clemente is coming up. That was base hit number 6 for the Pirates off Roger Craig, a line drive single into left center. Jim Hickman came over from center to scoop it up and fire it back in. Roberto Clemente gets an ovation from the crowd as he comes up here. Clemente has been up twice. He doubled and he grounded out, second to first. There is one man out. Now there's action in the Met bullpen. Pitch is in there for a call strike. Sherman Jones is throwing. Sherman Jones throwing in the bullpen for the New York Mets now. Count to Clemente is ball 1. That pitch was tight. Ball 1. Here's a foul ball out of play, and it's even at 1-1 to Roberto Clemente. Outside the batter's box. Now he moves back in as Roger Craig looks in to get the sign. Dick Stewart leading off the bag at first. Hodges is making no attempt to hold him. There's a curveball cut on and foul back onto the screen. As Clemente skips a little step there as he comes all the way around to make it 1-2. Chris Pellicudis putting a new ball in play here. Now Al Jackson's throwing in the bullpen for the New York Mets. Al Jackson and Sherman Jones in the bullpen for the Mets. They were tabbed as starters by manager Casey Stengel at the start of the season, and now he has them both working in the bullpen right now. Casey himself has moved out on that top step now, leaning across the railing in front of the dugout here at Forbes Field in Pittsburgh. Here's one right back to the middle, going through for a base hit on the ground. Stewart holds at second as Hickman fires the ball in. Clemente driving that one on the ground up the middle into center field for a base hit. And right now, in order to allow our stations to identify themselves, we pause now for station identification.
This is the 810 spot in the radio dial, WGY Schenectady.
Is throwing in the bullpen for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Mogi Burgess is coming up. Don Zimmer has called time for a moment and has come over to the mound to have a word with Roger Craig. And Roberto Clemente has taken advantage of this call of time Come over to the dugout for a moment. Manager Casey Stengel has gone to the mound. Cannizzaro is there, Zimmer is there, and manager Casey Stengel is now at the mound to talk to Roger Craig. The Pirates have reached him for 3 consecutive base hits here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. A home run by Skinner, a single by Stewart, and a single by Clemente. The Mets still lead by a score of 2-1. Clemente comes back out of the dugout now and assumes his position at first. Roger Craig is going to stay in the ball game for the New York Mets. We're in the bottom of the 6th with 1 out. Mogi Burgess coming up. He has flied to right and singled in the ball game this afternoon. The Pirates have 7 hits off Roger Craig, 3 of them this inning. Dick Stewart is the base runner at second. So that the lead runner in this situation is not particularly speedy. Clemente, of course, can fly. He's the runner at first. Pitch to the left-hand batter is low and away. Ball 1 to Mogi Burgess. Craig goes to the Rosenbag to rub up the baseball. Trying to get himself out of trouble here. The Mets lead by a score of 2-1. The Pirates threatening in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Craig into the stretch position. Runners leading. Pitch to the plate. Curve ball outside. It's ball 2 to Burgess. Mogi Burgess has a batting average of 286. He's been up 21 times and has 6 base hits, 1 home run, and 5 runs batted in. Craig into the stretch position. Here's the pitch. Has a drive going out to the center field for a base hit. Hickman gets over, cuts it off on 1 hop. Fires it in. Stewart is coming on to score. And Clemente is holding at third as Neal runs the ball back to the outfield. And manager Casey Stengel is on the way to the mound. Casey Stengel on the way to the mound. And he's going to go to the bullpen. He's going to the bullpen as the score is tied here, 2-2. And he's going to the right-hander, Sherman Jones. He is going to the right-hander, Sherman Jones. As Mogi Burgess land the ball out into right center field to drive in a run, his 2nd hit of the day. It scored Stewart from second with the tying run. It's 2-2 now. Clemente went on to third. Jim Hickman hustled over, got the ball on 1 hop, and fired it back in to keep Clemente from scoring. Don Hoke will be coming up, still 1 man out, and the Pirates reach Craig here for 4 straight base hits in the bottom half of the 6th inning. And he is being relieved now by Sherman Jones. So Roger Craig comes off the mound, heading for the dugout, having pitched 5 1/3 innings, which he gave up 2 runs on 8 hits. He walked none and struck out 3. And he leaves with the score tied. And he is responsible, of course, for Burgess at first and Clemente at third. Conference at the mound. Gil Hodges is there. Umpire Jocko Conlon is there. Charlie Neal is there. Don Zimmer is there. Chris Cannizzaro is there. And Sherman Jones is the new pitcher.
Now pitching for the Mets, number 36, Sherman Jones.
Sherman Jones was the starting pitcher in the home opener for the New York Mets. Being used in relief for the first time in the young season here at Forbes Field in Pittsburgh this afternoon. Jones made his big reputation in baseball as a relief hurler, actually, when he picked up the nickname of Roadblock at Tacoma. He won 10 games and lost none, all in relief. Because he shut off everybody, he picked up the nickname Roadblock. Sherman Jones taking the warm-up tosses. And now Don Hoke steps into the batter's box. He has struck out and flies to right. Situation, one man out. Runners at first and third. Score tied 2-2. Pirates batting the bottom half of the sixth inning. Jones is into the stretch position. And the pitch to Hope. Goes high for ball one. Roberto Clemente at third and Mogi Burgess at first for the Pirates. Here's a pitch in there for a call, strike one. Fastball, it's 1-1. Don Hoke has a batting average right now of 265. He's been up 34 times, has 9 hits, 1 home run, and 6 runs batted in. Sherman Jones stretches and deals inside for a ball. It's 2-1 to Don Hope. Infield at double play depth here for the New York Mets. Pirates batting with one man out. Here's the pitch. As a fly ball to center, Jim Hickman is ranging back. Clemente is tagged up at third. He'll score easily. The throw comes into the relay man. Chacon gets by him. It's taken by Charlie Neal. Clemente has scored after the catch as the Pirates go ahead 3-2. No advance by Burgess at first. So a sacrifice fly and a run batted in for Don Hope as Clemente tagged up and scored after the catch of the fly ball by Jim Hickman in center. And here is Bill Mazeroski. He is 1 for 2 this afternoon. He grounded out, short to first in the second inning, single to left in the fifth. 2 men out as the Pirates have gone ahead for the first time this afternoon here in the bottom half of the sixth inning. As a ground ball to Charlie Neal at second. He's up with it, placed to Gil Hodges. In time, Mazeroski has grounded out. To retire the side is the Pirates in the bottom half of the sixth inning. Got 3 runs on 4 hits. There were no errors and 1 left. At the end of 6 full innings of play at Forbes Field in Pittsburgh, the score is the Pittsburgh Pirates 3 and the New York Mets 2. We'll say there's no time like the present, and what better way to use it than to pour yourself a tall, cold glass of Rheingold. You know, Rheingold is beer as beer should taste, and dry tells you why. So enjoy a friendly glass of Rheingold Extra Dry along with the game. We'll be going now to the top half of the 7th inning. New York Mets will send up Hickman, Cannizzaro, and the pitcher, and we'll send up Bob Murphy.
Thank you very much, Lindsey Nelson. Bob Bailey, the tall left-hander, getting warmed up now as the game moves along to the 7th. In other games, at the end of 7, Cincinnati 6, the Giants 3. First game of a doubleheader in St. Louis, the Cubs lead the Redbirds 3-0 at the end of 4. Dodgers 3 and the Braves 1 at the end of 2.5. The warm-ups now for the Philadelphia-Houston game, Jim Owens for the Phillies and Dave Justy for the Houston Colt 45s. In the American League, Detroit 7, the Red Sox 2 at the end of 4.5. Baltimore 6, Washington 2 at the end of 5.5. Cleveland 7, the Yankees 1 at the end of 5.5, first of 2. Kansas City 4, the White Sox nothing at the end of 3.5, first game of 2. Nothing yet on the West Coast game between the Minnesota Twins and Los Angeles Angels. Now the Mets will try and get it going against Bob Bailey in the 7th inning, and they will have Jim Hickman leading off. Hickman has driven in both of the New York Mets runs in the game. Jim Hickman, 2 for 2, 2 RBIs, leading off against Bob Beeley. He'll be followed by Chris Cannizzaro, and then by Sherman Jones. Beeley, the 26-year-old lefty, winds and pitches a ground ball driven toward the hole, a base hit to right field. And Jim Hickman is 3 for 3. The ball gets by Clemente, rolls back toward the barrier. Around second is Hickman. He's on his way to third. Burton backing up on the play, fires the ball back in, and Hickman winds up on third base. A single to right and a two-base error charged to Roberto Clemente. The ball got through him and rolled to the wall in right field, and by the time Burton, coming over from center, could back the play up and track it down, Hickman goes all the way to third. And now the Mets have the tying run 90 feet away on third, nobody out, and Cannizzaro coming up. And Pittsburgh will bring the infield in. Now let's check it. If they started to move in, and now they move back. Game in the seventh, but the Buccos play the infield back, the outfield around toward left. Here's the windup, pitched by Beeley. A high drive to straightaway deep center field. Caught by Bill Burton. Hickman tagged up, comes in to score easily, and the game is tied up. Chris Cannizzaro on the first pitch by Beeley makes it a brand new ball game. He hit the ball hard to straightaway deep center field. More of a line drive than a fly ball. Burton had to go back on it. Now Roadblock Jones will be coming up for the first time in the game. Tail end of the batting order doing the work for the New York Mets in the game today. Jim Hickman batting seventh with 3 for 3 and 2 RBIs, and now Cannizzaro with a sacrifice fly in the form of a line drive hit deep to center ties the game up. Roadblock coming up to bat left-handed against left-hander Bob Beeley. Bob Beeley into his windup. The pitch to Roadblock is taken ball one. Now the pitch to him, right down the middle, taken for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Beeley working fast. Triggers a fastball over on the outside edge for a call strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Billy Burton around in left center, figuring Roadblock will not be able to get around on the hard-throwing left-hander. Pitching 1 and 2. Swing and a miss. He got him on a curveball. 5 strikeouts for Bob Beeley. 2 outs and nobody on. The top of the order now for Don Zimmer. Don made a bid for a home run his last time up. He got the ball up in the air, hit well to left field. And Bob Skinner, backed up against the red concrete wall, reached over his head to take it. Off-speed delivery, inside and high. 1 ball, no strikes. Game tied 3-3. The Mets sitting in the 7th inning. And the ball is a towering pop-up out towards second base. Dick Grote on the skin of the infield path, taps the glove, makes the catch, the side is out. One run, 1 hit, 1 error charged to Roberto Clemente, and nobody on. The run is unearned. But the game is tied up, and at the end of 6.5 innings, the score now, the Mets 3 and the Pirates 3. Well, here it is, the 7th inning stretch for Bucko fans. I guess we know what that calls for, don't we, Ralph?
Yes, sir, Bob. There's no doubt about it. The good old 7th inning stretch. And it's fine cold Rheingold. Rheingold extra dry.
You know, really, any time Ralph calls for Rheingold, it makes any wonderful day just a little more wonderful. You know, that figures, because Rheingold is the dry beer. Yes, sir, 2 little words, extra dry, tell you why Rheingold is the happy choice of millions. Extra dry tells you Rheingold is brewed the long, slow, costlier way to taste brisk and bright and clean clear through.
Rheingold is beer as beer should taste. That's why millions say, my beer is Rheingold the dry beer. So why not join them Enjoy a tall, refreshing glass of Rheingold as we bring you more of the baseball action. You know, Bob, I get so anxious to talk about Rheingold, I keep stepping on your line.
Well, actually, I think it's the other way around, Ralph. Well, the crowd here at Forbes Field up for the 7th inning stretch. They'll be watching the Bucks now come up to hit against relief pitcher Sherman Roadblock Jones. Bob Feely, the Pirate pitcher, will be leading off in the home 7th, followed by Bill Verdon and then Dick Grote. A night game tomorrow night starting at 8:15 will be on the air at 8:10. Then 2 night games in Cincinnati before the Mets return to the Polo Grounds for their 6-game homestand against the Philadelphia Phillies and the National League champion Cincinnati Reds. Cincinnati coming into the Polo Grounds on Tuesday night, May 1st, for the first night game of the season in the Polo Grounds. Now Bob Feely, batting left-handed, leading off against Sherman Jones. Inside at the knees, 1 ball, no strikes. Sherman Jones, big, strong right-hander, owns a good fastball. Red Ruffing, the Met pitching coach, has been working with Sherman, trying to get him to rely more on that fastball. Swing and a miss, 1 ball, 1 strike. Red Ruffing, who was around for 22 years, said he relied for the 22 years on a fastball and a changeup. Inside, ball 2, 2-1. One of the biggest arguments in baseball is among pitchers and pitching coaches as to the value of the slider. A little bouncer hit right back to the mound. Roadblock is up with it, throws to first in time. Looked like Veely was trying to take kind of a half swing at the ball and just push it by the infield, but it went right back to the mound. 1 out, nobody on. That brings up Burden, the center fielder. Burden 0 for 3 this afternoon, has flied to left, grounded out to Gil Hodges, and been thrown out by Roger Craig. He starts to bluff at a bunt, then takes the pitch over, strike 1 call. Ground ball toward Charlie Neal. Charlie glove hands the ball to his left, throws to Gil Hodges, and Burden is out. The ball was hit toward the hole, and Charlie Neal quickly moved off to his glove side to take it. 2 up and 2 set aside by Roadblock Jones, and that brings up the captain, Dick Grote. Grote singled to center field the very first time up to extend his consecutive game hitting streak to 10. Since then, he has lined to center and grounded out third to first, 1 hit and 3 times up. Sherman Jones winds and pitches. Blazer that's over, strike 1 call. Here's the pitch on the way. Inside at the knees, Grote jumping back. 1 ball, 1 strike. Breeze blowing from first toward third, favoring the right-hand hitters. Center fielder Jim Hickman shaded toward left center against Dick Grote. Grote well back from the plate, overly closed stance. A fly ball hit down the right field line. It's hit deep. It's toward the screen, and it's off the screen for a base hit. Grote around first, headed for second. The throw by Bobby Gene Smith is not in time. A right field double for Grote. Dick Grote building a right field double off the screen. Now the Bucks have the tie-breaking run in scoring position, 2 down, and Bob Skinner coming up. Skinner 1 hit and 3 times up. He homered to right field in the 6th inning. Chris Cannizzaro going out now to talk to Roadblock. Sherman Jones makes the 1 second stop. The pitch to Skinner, way outside. Cannizzaro moving out to take it. 1 ball and no strikes. Dick Stewart occupies the on-deck circle. Crowd of about 14,000 watching on this Easter Sunday afternoon. Good ball game going. The kick of the leg. Around comes the arm. Outside, a peg to second by Cannizzaro, not in time. Cannizzaro owns a strong throwing arm, and he likes to put it to work. He tried to pick off Dick Grote as Elio Chacon dashed over to take the throw. 2 balls and no strikes on Bob Skinner. Ball 3 up high. Sherman Jones behind now, 3-0 on the left-hand hitter, Bob Skinner. Ball 4, and Skinner walks on 4 pitches. That brings up Dick Stewart. Dick Stewart, 1 for 3. Dick hammered a base up to left center field his last time up. The Pirates casting a threat now in the home 7th inning. Runners on first and second, 2 men down. The pitch by Jones. Fouled. Back upstairs, it'll be out of play. Stewart, a full hitter. The Mets with their infield deep and around toward left. Charlie Neal almost behind second. Elio Chacon over in the hole on the edge of the outfield grass at short. Inside and high. 1 ball, 1 strike now on Dick Stewart. Stewart hitting at .316 on 12 hits and 38 trips. Jim Hickman very deep in the outfield and swung around toward left center. Thomas back just a couple of strides from the edge of the warning path in deep left. Now Stewart asked for time, and he goes out to get the rosin bag, so Chris Cannizzaro goes out to the mound to talk to Sherman Jones. Dick Grote, a very heady ball player, is the runner at second, with Bob Skinner on first. A roadblock, and Cannizzaro taking no chances on the sign being stolen by Dick Grote. Pitching 1-1. Swing and a miss on a curve. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Have lefty Al Jackson staying ready in the bullpen. Now Roadblock steps up, chasing the runners back. A high fly ball. That one may bring rain. Zimmer and Chacon are after it in foul ground, and Elio makes the catch in foul territory to retire the side. That ball was a tremendous foul pop-up. For Pittsburgh in the 7th inning, they threaten but fail to score as Roadblock gets Dick Stewart. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 left on. And now 7 innings complete, and the score, the Mets 3 and the Pirates 3. We'll check the scores for you in just a moment. First, though, let's pause for station identification.
810 on your radio dial. This is WGY Schenectady.
Bob Murphy with Lindsey Nelson and Ralph Kanner from Forbes Field. A good 3-3 ball game going along to the 8th inning now. And the Mets will have Elio Chacon leading off against southpaw Bob Beeley. On our scoreboard, they're in the last of the 8th inning in Cincinnati now with the Reds leading the Giants 6-4. And the Cubs scored 5 in the 5th inning at St. Louis. They now lead the unbeaten Cardinals 8-0 after 4.5 in the first game of a doubleheader. Milwaukee got 3 in the 3rd inning to go ahead of the Dodgers 4-3 at the end of 3. They're underway in Houston now. The Phillies did not score in the first inning. In the American League at the end of 5, Detroit 7, the Red Sox 5. Baltimore 6, Washington 3 at the end of 7. Cleveland 7, the Yankees 3 at the end of 6, first game of 2. Now Bob Beeley, out of his windup, pitches to Elio Chacon, and the fastball is over, strike one call. Kansas City 4, the White Sox nothing at the end of 4, first game of 2. Breaking ball in the dirt, 1 ball, 1 strike on Elio Chacon. Cleveland Yankee game, Dick Donovan hurling for Cleveland. Stafford relieved by Daly in the 3rd and Jim Bouton in the 6th. Ground ball bounced on the left side of the diamond, cut off by Don Hope. The throw to first in time. One away in the 8th inning as Don Hope tosses out Elio Chacon. That brings up Bobby Gene Smith, the right fielder. BG has 1 hit and 3 times up. He singled his last time at bat. Diomedes Olivo, 42-year-old relief left-hander, and Jack LeMahieu, a right-hander, are both loosening up now for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Curve in the dirt, ball 1. Beeley winds and pitches. A fly ball hit right down the right field line. Will it stay fair? Clemente running for it, and he grabs it just before he reaches the right field line. Good defensive play by Roberto Clemente. Bobby Gene Smith, who can run, would have gone all the way to second base had Clemente been unable to reach that one. So there are 2 away, nobody on in the top of the 8th inning, and now Frank Thomas faces the left-hander Bob Beeley. Frank has struck out, grounded out short to first, and hit a towering pop fly to short. He's 0 for 3. Ground ball whacked down to 3rd, a foul ball. Tomorrow night in the concluding game of the series, Tommy Sturdivant will be on for Pittsburgh. For the New York Mets, it will be Jay Hook. Ground ball hit slowly toward short. He broke his bat. Grote is up with it, throws a low throw, but Dick Stewart is up with it to retire the side. The Mets go out in order in their half of the 8th inning with no runs, no hits, no errors, none left on. At the end of 7.5 innings, the score, Mets 3 and the Pirates 3. Now, whether the game is a pitcher's duel or a hitting spree, pipe smokers enjoy their baseball more when they're smoking Sir Walter Riley. You enjoy Sir Walter Riley when you relax. Relax in a man's world. You know, Sir Walter is known as the brand of grand aroma. It's choice Kentucky Burley, extra aged with mild flavor and aroma that come from pure Burley tobacco at its very best. Sir Walter is 44% fresher, too, in its new pouch pack. Yes, the new pouch pack keeps the tobacco 44% fresher than the old-fashioned tin cans ever did. You can feel the tobacco is kept fresh and moist. Your pipe is easier to fill. Tobacco doesn't spill. The pouch is sturdy and it's flexible, too. It won't bulge in your pocket. So for extra innings of smoking pleasure, make it Sir Walter Riley, the quality pipe tobacco. Get 44% fresher in the new pouch pack. Smoke Sir Walter Raleigh and relax. Relax in a man's world. 8th inning now. Roberto Clemente coming out of the dugout to lead off for Pittsburgh. So Sherman Jones has the tough hitter to get by, starting off in the last of the 8th inning. Clemente has doubled and singled in 3 official times up. Sherman Jones winds and pitches. A drive hit hard to left field, a base hit. Frank Thomas fielding the ball in left, and the Pirates now have a tie-breaking run on with nobody out in the last of the 8th. That is the second hit given up by Roadblock Jones, the 10th in the ball game for Pittsburgh. Mogi Burgess stepping in. Smokey 2 for 3. The only time he has been retired today, he hit a fly ball deep to right that was caught by Bobby Gene Smith. That's figuring that they'll have Burgess swinging away. He bunts the ball down the third base line. A beauty of a bunt. No play. It's going to be a base hit. Now throw to second by Zimmer, and Clemente is safe on a close play. Now the Mets are in a whole peck of trouble. Mets defense figured on Burgess, normally not a good bunter and a good hitter. They were figuring on him to swing away. He placed a perfect bunt down the third base line, had it easily beaten out for a base hit. Don Zimmer made a good heady play when he fired to second trying to get Clemente, who had spun around second base. But Clemente, with a head-first dive, got back into second safely. But now the Pirates have a real menacing threat. Runners on first and second, nobody out. And the batter coming up is Don Hope. Al Jackson warming up seriously in the bullpen. Now Gil Hodges and Don Zimmer are looking for the bunt. Hope 0 for 2. Here's the pitch by Roadblock. He bunts the ball of beauty down the third base line. The throw goes to second. Force play there. Don Zimmer to Elio Chacon for the force play on Smokey Burgess. And so the Pirates have runners on first and third, 1 out, and Bill Mazeroski coming up.
No sacrifice. Force out.
Runners on first and third. Game tied 3-3, last of the 8th inning, and the hitter is Mazeroski. Maz has 1 hit and 3 times up. He singled back in the 5th inning. Now the Mets will have the infield set up, shooting for the double play. And they shade around toward left against Mazeroski. The outfield around to left. Roadblock Jones off the stretch delivers. A high fly hit deep to right center field. Towards the alley. It's in for an extra base hit. Coming to the score is Clemente. Being waved around third and onto the plate of Hope. The relay throw to the plate. It might be close. The run is in. He failed to touch the plate. He is out. He failed to touch the plate. I don't know whether it was Clemente or Hope. He's got a big rhubarb going. A giant rhubarb is going now. Clemente and Hope are jumping up and down around home plate. Chris Pellicudis, the plate umpire, has called one or the other out. Clemente's run is going to be good. It was Don Hope who was called out. He was the second run across the plate. Ron Northey in the argument, and Hope is really piping hot. Frank Osiak trying to push Hope away from Chris Pellicudis to keep him from being banished from the game. Don Hope arguing with Pellicudis, the plate umpire, as it is ruled that he missed the plate. Let's tried for the play at the plate on Don Hope, but he had the relay throw coming in, beaten by a wide margin. It'll be scored as a triple to right center field. A triple for Mazeroski, 1 RBI. The Pirates in front, 4-3. Danny Murtaugh is in the midst of the argument. Don Oak is still there, arguing with Chris Bellacudis. Ball really tagged by Mazeroski, deep to right center field. Up the alley, and by the time Hickman could run it down, relay it to Charlie Neal, who relayed to the plate. Oak was in, but missed the plate. Now Casey Stengel comes out to the mound. Bailey is coming out of the dugout. At first it appeared that Danny Murtaugh would send up a hitter for Bob Bailey. Larry Elliott came out of the dugout swinging a couple of bats. Now his call back, and Bailey comes up out of the dugout. And Al Jackson is going to come in to take over the pitching for the Mets. Now we'll have a pitching change with a left-hander scheduled up to hit, Bob Bailey. Casey Stengel is bringing on Al Jackson to pitch to him. And we'll see if Danny Murtaugh retaliates with a right-hand pinch hitter. The Pirates have gone in front 4-3. Crowd of some 14,000 excited over the rhubarb at the plate. Jim Hickman, after running down the long triple, fired the ball to Neal, who relayed to the plate, trying for Hope. Don beat the relay throw by a substantial margin, but he missed home. Cannizzaro, who was alert on the play, went over and put the tag on Don Hope. And Chris Bellacudis, the plate umpire, immediately called him out. And that precipitated the argument around home plate with Danny Murtaugh and Don Hope carrying on the argument to no avail. Scoring the game with us, give Mazeroski a run batted in, and the Pirates have gone in front in the last of the 8th inning. Al Jackson comes on in relief. Roadblock Jones came on to replace Roger Craig in the 6th inning, retired Hoke and Mazeroski. 2 men down here in the last of the 8th inning. So Roadblock pitched 2 1/3. At the moment, he has given up 1 run. 4 hits. Walked 1 and struck out none. And now we're going to get Bob Bailey batting right-handed. Bailey, a switch hitter, will bat right against lefty Al Jackson. In the 9th inning, the Mets will have Charlie Neal, Gil Hodges, and Jim Hickman coming up. The infield back with 2 men down. Mazeroski, who tripled, is on third. The Pirates in front 4-3. To go again. Jackson winding. The pitch thrown. Curve is swung. Strike 1. Mets fell behind 3-2, but tied the game in the 7th inning. The Pirates have regained the lead here in the 8th. Ground ball bounced slowly. In comes Charlie Neal. He grabs the hop. throws to Hodges, and the side is out. In the 8th inning, Pittsburgh scoring 1 run. 3 hits. No errors. And 1 man left on. And so at the end of 8 innings, the score now, the Pirates 4 and the New York Mets 3. As we move along to the 9th inning, the Mets will have Charlie Neal leading off against Bob Beeley. You know, right now is a good time to light up a Viceroy. Viceroy's not too strong, not too light. Viceroy's got the taste that's right. That's right. They're in the 9th inning in Cincinnati now with the Reds leading the Giants by a score of 6-4. Veda Penson, Johnny Edwards, Chuck Haller, and Wally Post have all hit home runs in that game. The Cubs lead the Cardinals 8-0 after 4.5, and that's the first game of a doubleheader. Ellsworth pitching for the Cubs. Anderson relieves Sadecki. Banks hit a 3-run homer. Ernie Banks off to a good start. At the end of 4, Milwaukee 4, the Dodgers 3, Drysdale against Shaw, home runs by Tommy Davis and Del Crandall. Houston won, the Phillies nothing at the end of an inning and a half. Jim Owens against Dave Justy. In the American League at the end of 6, the Tigers lead the Red Sox 8-5. At the end of 7, the Orioles lead Washington 6-3 behind Steve Barber. At the end of 7, first game of 2 at Yankee Stadium, Cleveland 7, the Yankees 3. At the end of 5, Kansas City 5, the White Sox nothing, first game of 2. Ed Rocco hurling for the A's, and he's been pitching some real good ball. On the West Coast later today, the Minnesota Twins and the Los Angeles Angels. Now here we go. The Mets trying to tie it up and get in front of the 9th inning. Neal whacks it foul. Back up to the screen. Strike 1. Greg Anderson warming up in the bullpen for the Mets to be ready if needed. Swing on a curve and a miss. Strike 2. Pittsburgh leading 4-3. We're in the 9th. Pitch by Veely is whacked foul. Back up into the crowd. No play. This has been a tough battle all the way. The Mets took an early 2-0 lead. Pittsburgh scored 3 in the 6th to go ahead 3-2. The Mets got a run in the 7th to tie it 3-3. Neal waiting, swing and a miss. He struck him out. Six strikeouts by the 6'6" left-hander who has gone all the way. 1 out and nobody on, and now Gil Hodges comes up. Pirates have won 9 in a row. If they win today, they tie the modern National League record for consecutive wins at the start of a year. Gil fouls the ball back, strike 1. At St. Louis, the Cardinals scored 4 in the last half of the 5th inning. That's now an 8-4 game with the Cubs in front. Gil waiting, takes it outside and low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Gil has 2 hits and 3 times up. Pittsburgh 4 runs on 12 hits. The Mets 3 runs on 7. A chopper off the plate high in the air. Veely is letting the ball go, and it does go foul. They had no chances at all to get Gil Hodges. They let the ball go, and it bounced foul. Now here is our first final score of the afternoon. Cincinnati defeated San Francisco 6-4. Joey J, the winner, relieved by Dave Sisler in the 8th inning and Bill Henry in the 9th. Jack Sanford started. He's the losing pitcher. LeMay in the 5th and Duffalo in the 7th. Home runs were hit by Veda Penson, Johnny Edwards, Chuck Haller, and Wally Post. The Mets trying trying to fight from behind. In the top of the ninth inning, they trail by 1. Bob Veely, the rookie left-hander from Birmingham, Alabama, trying to post his initial Major League victory. Gil Hodges cowtailing the bat around, cocks it off the right shoulder. Veely swings into his windup. Now the pitch. Ground ball hit towards shortstop. Dick Grote is up with it. Throws to Dick Stewart in time, and Gil is out. So the Mets are down to their final out in the ninth inning, relying on young Jim Hickman. Hickman has a perfect day at the plate with 3 for 3. He has driven in 2 of the 3 New York Met runs. Bob Veely cranking up. The pitch on the way. Inside, ball 1. Jim Hickman trying to keep things alive for the Mets in the ninth inning. The pitch by Veely. He lays off of it and is taken high. Ball 2, 2-0. If Hickman can get on, the hitter will be Chris Cannizzaro. Now the pitch. Ball 3 is low, 3-0. That's a strike, 3-1. Count 3-1 on Jim Hickman. The pitch, swing and a miss on a low fastball, and the count is full now at 3-2. 2 outs, nobody on. Top of the ninth inning. Mets trail by 1 run, 4-3. Bill Mazeroski's long blow to deep right center field, scoring Roberto Clemente with a tie-breaking run that put the Pirates in front. Pitching 3-2. Foul ball. Grounded foul coming back toward the on-deck circle. And so Hickman stays in there. Full count, 3-2. Jim Hickman, tall, slender right-hand batter. 3 for 3 this afternoon. The payoff pitch. Bounced foul off the plate coming back, and he still is alive. A night game tomorrow night will be on the air at 8:10, the finale of the 3-game series. The Mets then move into Cincinnati for 2 night games. Back in the Polo Grounds on Friday against the Philadelphia Phillies in the opener of a 4-game weekend series. Monday week, an open date. Tuesday night, May 1, the first night game of the year at the Polo Grounds against the National League champion Cincinnati Reds. Now Veely into his windup. The 3-2 pitch. Ground ball hammered to short. Fielded by Dick Grote. The throw to first. The game is over. And so the Pirates, coming from behind on an extra base hit to right center by Mazeroski, tie a modern National League record by making it their 10th consecutive win from the start of the season. In the ninth inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, and none left on. We'll be back with the line score and resume of today's game in just 1 minute. The final score, the Pirates 4 and the Mets 3.
Now sit back, relax, and enjoy a cold Rheingold while Peter Nero plays the Rheingold Rhapsody. won't you try extra dry Rheingold beer?
Well, this is a heartbreaking loss for the New York Mets, who are a mighty hungry ball club as they took the field this afternoon, seeking their initial win of the season, only to lose a tough one to a sizzling hot Pittsburgh Pirate team that came from behind to win it. The Mets had taken the early lead 2-0 with Jim Hickman driving in the first 2 runs. But the Pirates broke through to chase Roger Craig and score 3 in the 6th inning. Bob Skinner belting a home run to get the first Pirate run home. Mogi Burgess and Don Hook driving in the next 2, and the Pirates went in front 3-2. The Mets came back to tie the game in the 7th inning on a base hit by Jim Hickman, his 3rd hit of the game. He raced all the way to 3rd when the ball got by Roberto Clemente, and he came in to score on Cannizzaro's drive to center that was caught, but which tagged up. Hickman came in to score after the grab, and it was 3-3. The winning run came across the plate in the last of the 8th inning. Clemente leading off with a base hit to left field. Burgess bunted beautifully down the 3rd baseline for a base hit. Don Hoke reached on a fielder's choice as Don Zimmer threw to 2nd on a bunt to force Mogi Burgess. With runners on 1st and 3rd, 1 out, Mazeroski lashed a base hit deep to right center field. Coming in to score was Roberto Clemente to make it 4-3. On the relay throw to the plate, trying for Don Hoke. Hoke missed the plate, and when Cannizzaro, alert on the play, followed him over and made the tag. Chris Pellicutis called Hoke out for the 2nd out. There was the rhubarb after that, but the damage had been done, and the Pirates win it for their 10th consecutive win to tie the modern National League record of 10 straight wins from the start of the season, established by the 1955 Brooklyn Dodgers. The line score for today's game for the Pirates, 4 runs, 12 hits, 1 error, 8 left. For the Mets, 3 runs on 7 hits, no errors, and 4 left. Winning pitcher, rookie Bob Bealey, his first Major League victory, and he goes the route. Losing pitcher in relief, Sherman Roadblock Jones. Roadblock now has 1-0 while losing 3. Craig worked 5 1/3, Jones 2 1/3, and Al Jackson came on to finish up in the ball game. The paid crowd, 13,780. So tomorrow night, the Mets will be hoping as they take the field against the Bucks, and they'll rely on Jay Hook. His mound opponent will be Tommy Sturdivant. And that wraps up another New York Mets ball game. We hope you enjoyed it. Rheingold certainly enjoyed bringing it your way. Remember now, tomorrow night we'll be on the air at 8:10 for the finale of the 3-game series. This broadcast came to you through the courtesy of Liebman Breweries, brewers since 1837, and the Brown and Williamson Tobacco Corporation. B&W, the mark of quality in tobacco products, and is authorized under radio rights granted by the New York Mets solely for the entertainment of our listening audience. Any publication, reproduction, or other use of the descriptions and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the New York Mets is prohibited. Right now, I'd like to remind you to enjoy Viceroy cigarettes. Viceroy's not too strong, not too light. Viceroy's got the taste that's right. That's right. Our thanks now to our statistician, Joe McDonald. Now this is Bob Murphy saying so long for Lindsey Nelson and Ralph Kiner, and for Rheingold.